Hey guys, Jackie here. I'm here in my foot zoning office, and I just wanted to do a quick video to let you know a little bit more about myself. Um, okay, the typical questions that people want to know about me is where I'm from. So I grew up with my mom and dad and my four siblings in Murray, Utah, which is in the Salt Lake City area. If you're not from this part of the country, then it's in the Salt Lake City area. So grew up there my whole entire life and never moved. We lived in the exact same house my whole entire life, knew all of my neighbors. It was really great growing up experience. And then I went to college and graduated with my bachelor's degree. I studied family, consumer, and human development is what I got my degree in. Basically, that's just a fancy way of explaining that I studied child development for my bachelor's degree, and I loved it. Did a bunch of different jobs in that field. I worked for Head Start for a little bit. I also have been a nanny for multiple different families. I worked for the Boys and Girls Club at one point. I've worked for a couple different studies doing research. Um, and currently, I actually work in aside from what I do with foot zoning, I have a job where I work for an early intervention program. So we go out and do home visits and we work with families that have children that are less than 3 years old, so anywhere between birth and 3 years old. And these kids that we work with they have either a developmental delay or a disability of some sort. And so we go out and we provide services to help these families figure out how to help their children progress. So I do that during the day. And then in the evenings and weekends is when I get to help people with foot zoning and other things that I do in my business, and I love it. So it's well rounded. So I graduated with my bachelor's degree in child development, and then I served a mission for my church, and I went to Florida for a year and a half and learned to speak Spanish. So I worked with the Latino population out in Florida, and I met people from all over the Latino world. And that was a really eye-opening experience to work with a totally different culture, and I am so grateful for it. And anyway, and then I came home and fell in love with my husband, and we got married soon after I came home from serving my mission. And then I moved back to Logan, Utah, which is where I got my bachelor's degree from Utah State University, I should say. And so I moved back here, and while in those first few years of being married, I decided that I wanted to go back and get my master's degree. And I got my master's degree in the same field in family, consumer, and human development, but I focused and emphasized more on family relationships rather than just child development. I was highly interested in the family unit and learning how to help families become stronger. I wanted to be a marriage and family therapist at one point. I'd also always had a desire to be a counselor or a therapist of some sort, working with people in those ways. But so how did I end up being a foot zoner? Well, that's another question a lot of people ask me is, how did you find foot zoning and why are you a foot zoner? And so there was a gal that I had met, and she was going through foot zoning classes at the time that I had met her, and she was just in her practice stage, and so anybody that she came across, she just wanted to practice foot zoning on. And so she asked if I wanted to come over and try foot zoning one day, and I said, sure, that sounds really good. If you'll rub my feet, I'll be there. So I went over, and we had scheduled a time for me to go, and I had a really intensely positive experience when she foot zoned me the first time. I tell people this all the time, but even though I had this really positive experience the first time, I still don't feel like I was fully converted to foot zoning. I had to come back multiple times, and luckily she was in tune enough to invite me to come back and to continue being exposed to foot zoning. And so I had some crazy intense experiences happen in my life where a lot of emotional upheaval happened, and she knew about this, and so she offered to come and foot zone me again for free. And it was because of those next couple of foot zones during that really volatile period of my life that I finally got converted to the power of foot zoning. And so she foot zoned me for several months, and then she kept inviting me, or I sometimes tell people that she was pestering me to learn how to be a foot zoner, and I kept saying, no, I don't want to learn. I was just scared. Like, let's just be honest, I was just scared to do it. And eventually, because she persisted, she kept inviting me to learn how to be a foot zoner. And so I eventually said, okay, I'll pray about it. And so I went and prayed about it, and I felt very peaceful about doing it. And I jumped off the ledge, and I'm grateful that I did, because I have never looked back. It's been an amazing journey to be on. So soon thereafter, I went to foot zoning school. A lot of people ask how long it takes to go through the certification. It's a 9-month process. Every school's a little bit different, but the school that I went through was a 9-month process. We meet together once a month for a whole entire weekend. So like a Friday, Saturday, all day. Friday, Saturday is usually what happens. And so went through that. My life completely changed. I loved how I was feeling as a result of being a foot zoner, and launched my foot zoning business afterwards. And I've been doing it ever since. I've had some changes as time has come. Like, I've moved from zoning out of my home to zoning in offices, and that's where I'm at now. I have an office space that I zone out of, and it's just really nice to be able to zone people here. So anyway, that's some stuff about me as a zoner. I love working on people's feet. I love all the differences that I feel from person to person, and even if the same person comes back, every zone is so different and so unique that I love feeling all of it and helping people figure out how to improve their lives. I always usually give people homework when they come in for a foot zone, just little things that you can do throughout, from day-to-day perspective to really up-level and improve your life. Sometimes it's nutritional, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's mental, spiritual, sometimes it's physical. There's lots of different things that I tell people to try. Anyway, if you've never had a foot zone, it's an amazing experience. Don't be like me, and don't be so resistant to getting foot zones. Basically what happens when you come in for your foot zone, you sit in a nice, really big, comfy chair, here in my office at least, and I get you all set up and comfortable. Ask you to drink water before you come in, just so that things are flowing better in your body, and that I can work with you a little bit easier that way if you've just drunk some water. I put out a towel. I use a towel, and then I put some cream stuff on your feet to help with the friction between my hands and your feet. And I usually start off with putting some essential oils on your feet, and then I start working on your feet, working on the different signals that I've learned through foot zoning, and figuring out which signals need to be helped and worked on. So anyway, it's an amazing experience. Everybody that comes out of here always says, oh, I feel so much better. It's a really positive experiences that everybody has. So if you are waiting for a reason to come get a foot zone, don't wait. Just come and get a foot zone. I have a really risk-free experience for you. You can schedule a free 30-minute foot zone to come in and try it. And that's what a lot of people love to do. So go ahead and go to the scheduling page on my site, and you can go ahead and schedule your free 30-minute foot zone. You can also upgrade it to a full foot zone for just half price. And all those details are on the scheduling page. So please reach out. Let me know if you have any questions. And literally, I am sending you the biggest, warmest hug from me to you. I hope that you come in and see me soon. I can't wait to wrap my arms around you and just give you some of my loving mojo. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions, and I'm so excited that you guys are here. Okay, see ya.